Hey folks, we are so glad to be with you. You know, when you see Lauren and myself up here, it is Christmas time. I'm Renee Roberts with the Home Tour Committee of Old North Knoxville. We are ready to get going in Christmas spirit and holiday spirit with the Old North Knoxville Holiday Home Tour. And it's a Victorian holiday home tour, right, Lauren?
It is. It's Victorian holiday home tour, but it includes craftsmen and other houses. So these are, if anybody's not familiar, these are houses that are between Central and off of Broadway.
A little triangle going on.
And a little bit more to the side of that. But we're down there in the Broadway Central area off of Happy Holler. These are homes that were built, most of them, there are some new homes, but most of our homes were built in the late 1800s or the early 1900s. We're the old trolley car suburbs of the old.
Historic, folks. We really, I mean, when you start thinking 100 years old, which is what we are talking now, so most of those homes are at least 100, and some are much more than that. Well, what's the story on the tour? What year, do we know what year this is of our tour? Because we lost a little bit during the pandemic, but we'll say this is the second year we've been back after the pandemic. We
second year reset, that's right.
And we had a great time last year.
Well over 30 years, I know that.
That's definitely true.
I've been involved now for 18 years, so, and it was going for a while before me. But just to make sure if anybody's jumping in, this is the historic, the Victorian Holiday Home Tour of Old North Knoxville.
Yeah.
And what we do is we have 7 homes this year and a church, and Rose Mortuary also joins us as one of our partners. But you come and tour our homes, and they are decorated for the holidays.
Absolutely.
You can join us December 2nd and December 3rd. That's a Saturday.
And understand, folks, it's not a drive-by or a drive-through. It is actually a walk-through. You get to go through these homes pretty much top to bottom as much as is open for you to look at. And you'll have a great time. Expect to spend probably 2 to 3 hours if you're really aficionado of historic homes. And even if you're not, come in and look for the decorations. You may get a lot of ideas to take home with you.
I'm actually, so my home is on the tour this year. Your home was on the tour last year. So each year we rotate which houses are on the tour if you haven't been to our tour. So different neighbors open up their doors and decorate. And I'm actually, I'm running out of time, don't have much time left, but trying to think of some things that I could do that would be inexpensive but a little different and just really mix up my decorations and change it up. So we'll see. That is some things, you know, even if you're like, oh, I went to her house 5 years ago, sometimes you redo some of the spaces or totally change the decorations. So
and we have some of our people who come year in and year out that will tell you, believe it or not, oh, you did this differently or you did that differently. Every year I have that on home tour, I said, I'm glad you noticed. Or I didn't realize that myself.
I do want people to notice. And sometimes we might have like a musical group come, like a choir. Did you have anybody play at your home last year?
I had singers last year from the Knoxville Opera Company one evening, and also a group from Central Baptist Church Bearden, a great bunch. And they were on they highlighted what we do on that, folks, for a lot of it. I have a grand piano, it's antique. It's over, it's 100 years old. And we sing around the piano, so to speak, while people came in. So I don't know what's coming up this season, but I think there's a possible surprise or two for some music coming up.
Oh, okay.
We're working on it. We're working on it. So I'm not going to reveal yet because it may fall through.
So usually this is a home tour. So you get to see historic homes that are about 100 years old in that ballpark or more.
And in this case, they now have become more.
Yeah. My house is 1914. So it's almost 110 years old at this point.
Isn't that mind-boggling? Because when I moved in, I remember it was like 70 some odd years old, and it passed the 100th year it's about 105 years old now, I think. So
yeah.
Blows my mind.
And they're decorated for the holidays, and then there's going to be music. And then, you know, it just, sometimes people who come on our home tour, they grew up coming to somebody's house in the neighborhood, or they might have grown up in the neighborhood. So it's a way to come visit the old neighborhood where your grandparents might have lived, or you might have lived, your parents might have lived. So that's one of the, I love that because sometimes someone will come into your home and they will tell you they have been to your home before with maybe someone who lived there before you, or they knew the people that used to live there. And that's exciting because sometimes they'll tell you stories about those people, and that's really kind of cool to me, is to hear the history, to hear about the people who used to live there. Because our homes, these were the homes of the people who created Knoxville.
Very much so. Yes.
The family that built my home, they had another home on Central that burned in a fire, and then they built my home, and there were 9 children in that family, and the sons and the dad all worked on the railroads, and so that was just really interesting to hear. So we got to know some of the modern day family members and hear about them. For a long time, well, for the first few years we lived there, our immediate neighbor, her dad had built the house, and so we got to know her. She was a graduate of UT and a school teacher. One of the, it was a very big deal for women to go to college in her era, so that she was very proud of that, and it was just amazing to meet her. She was a math teacher like yourself.
Oh, good deal.
So
good deal.
With the Knox City schools.
Absolutely.
And so it was just really great to know about the people that made the neighborhood when it was a new neighborhood.
Well, I think and now we've had so many folks we have younger folks coming into the neighborhood. I remember when I was the new kid on the block, so to speak, and now I'm kind of like one of the last of the, some of the originals. But none of us were really originals. We came in at a certain time when we felt this love for this neighborhood, and that's one thing I think you'll see is the cooperation, the camaraderie between players and all the families and such. Speaking of which, let's talk about how do we get started on the tour? Where do they leave their vehicles?
Yeah.
Because we really were going to encourage you because it's a tight-knit tour this year. They're all pretty much within 2 streets.
This year.
Yes, very walkable. Leave your vehicle because it's going to be very hard if you're trying to look for a parking space and you're trying to drive yourself. It's not going to work very well.
Yeah, the houses are clustered.
Trust us on buses. We'll pick you up and keep you moving. But also, like Lauren says, they're very walkable. Very walkable once you get started.
So what you want to do this year is go to First Lutheran, which is a church on Broadway, right across from Cape Brew Coffee Shop. You could start off and have some hot chocolate or something. But park there at First Lutheran, and then we'll have a ticket booth. If people have been coming to the tour for a long time, they may have changed. They may remember how we used to do it, where we had a ticket booth over at St. Mary's. But now we're doing a ticket booth in a 1956 Airstream. So if anybody came last year, they saw the Airstream, and a lot of people took their photo with it. We're going to have that Airstream parked on Armstrong in the 1300 block. So you'll be able to park at First Lutheran and pick up the bus or walk right over because you can see where the Airstream's going to be. That's our ticket booth. Get your ticket booth, get your calendar with your program. This is December 2nd and 3rd, Saturday from 4 to 9, Sunday from 1 to 5, so afternoon in the daylight hours. Saturday evening candlelight.
Come early so you can really make good use of your time because it'll take a couple hours at least, probably more like 2 to 3 hours to get through it. So budget your time.
But so you'll pick up your tickets there at the Airstream, the 1956 Airstream. So it's 70-some years old. Or
it's
almost.
Pretty antique, I'd say we could call it. Yes.
You pick up your tickets, and then you'll go to the first house. It's going to be up on Scott. We've got several houses there up on that street, and then you'll come down to East Oklahoma and pick up a few more houses there. Trying to think about what different houses we have. We have one of the houses that hasn't been on the tour for at least 10 years, I don't believe. Another one, I'll tell you, one of the houses, it's one of the smaller houses. So that's what's interesting about our neighborhood is it used to be the whole city. So you have small houses and big houses. They're different sizes. This is a smaller house. It was last on the tour in 2004. And I know this because we moved here from out of state, and that house was on the tour that year.
Interesting.
It was a couple that lived there at that time, and it's sold a couple of times since, but hasn't been on the tour since then. So new owner, completely differently decorated from the last time in 2004.
Well, that's what's great about it. Even some of these homes you may see, I've been in before, but under new ownership, everything looks different, and in many cases we've had, like I said, a lot of new young folks who've come in. So I think you're going to find it a great time for all. The buses do make it easy, but again, let them drop you off and walk, and you get to see. Now, Saturday is nighttime. It's a candlelight tour, and it's really beautiful to see the neighborhood lit up in fashion. But afternoon on Sunday, you can also see all the homes, all the architecture exterior. But remember, you get to go inside all of these homes, whether it's Saturday or Sunday, and get to check a little bit. Also, another place they can park is at Rose Mortuary.
Rose Mortuary,
and,
yes.
you know, they may not be
They
able
are
to
a
get
big
tickets, but they're going to
supporter.
be, they support us every year, and they're allowing us to have some parking there also.
And
So it's a great
usually they
place.
have treats for
That's
everyone.
true.
They have cider and cookies.
And you may go inside there
yeah.
too. You don't just have to stay out in their parking lot. You can go inside.
And one thing, if you haven't been to Rose Mortuary, with a lot of people who've been to our tour have been, that was actually a historic home, and they have pictures inside of what the home originally looked
Very
like
cool.
and how it was built out into the current structure that it is now. So that's kind of fascinating to think. That's how mortuaries used to be. They were in homes. That's a family business. So
And also,
you can
let's
park
talk
there
about,
as well.
Yeah, and talk about with getting tickets in advance, because they
Oh,
will
that's
be less
important.
expensive, all right, to do
Yes.
that. We will tell you that you can get them the day of, but it's much wiser to go ahead. And online, you got the Victorian Holiday Home Tour.com, which has been running around underneath us here. That's your best bet right there. Go ahead and get your tickets reserved now.
Yes.
Get taken care of, not have to worry about it. And come visit us. That would be December 2nd and December 3rd, Saturday evening or Sunday afternoon. You don't have to specify which day you're coming.
Or you can go both.
Right, you can split it.
You can split it. Some people do that. And here's the thing. It is a great friend outing, date night outing.
Absolutely.
I know people that come with small groups of friends, people that come with one friend, people that come with groups from church or some other organization you're with. This is a really fun activity to get out, do something different that only happens once a year.
Well, I know. And last year we had close to 1,300 people coming through. So that's why I say expect to spend a little bit of time. It's another reason why we encourage you not to try to drive it. Okay, if everyone did that, oh my goodness, you know, no one would be happy. So let the buses take care of you. You get to walk a lot of this. This is very close proximity. So we love it when we get it that way because it's so much easier on our participants.
And randomly, I think maybe, so I've been involved here for 23 years. A couple of times I've seen it snow. And that's really magical to be walking around.
A little bit of light snow coming in the air.
It's a wonderful life where there's like the snow and the lights. And
we will happen
Christmas
no matter
decor.
what the weather is.
Yes,
that's
we're
true.
rain
Okay,
or
so
shine.
understand we can't move this to another weekend and such, but
Yeah.
we definitely want you to take advantage of it. The tickets are available online. That's where you may get them. If you wait till the day of, again, it's a little more expensive, but you can buy those at the ticket booth.
Yes, but VictorianHolidayHomeTour.com is a way to
Absolutely.
find more information about this event.
It's a lot of fun.
Get to go through 7 homes. These are people's homes, and we're inviting you in to come see the craftsmanship, the renovations, and Christmas decorations.
It's
Christmas
beautiful
lights
time
and
for
sparkle.
all. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's
Christmas music.
and we hope to have we're going to plan to have some music floating around in the area, hopefully. So
Hopefully.
if not, hey, each individual house probably will have something going on too.
And one last thing before we're going to run out of time here in a moment is you'll get to see about half the houses, and then we'll run you through Happy Holler on the buses, or you could walk down there if you choose to walk and not ride the bus transportation. But there's some restaurants and some bars there, some of our local businesses that are big supporters of the community, but also great places to get a drink or a bite to eat.
And even if you want to go before the tour on Saturday night or after it on Sunday afternoon, they'll welcome you with open arms. So you definitely want to take a look at that if you haven't already been into our Happy Holler area. A lot of folks know us because of Happy Holler, I think. You know, it's a very popular spot.
We even have a little theater down there, Central Cinema.
Central Cinema.
So there's
Great place.
there's some breweries, there's a lot of great stuff there, and it's all walking distance from it. So you can break it up and do it any way you like. But we hope you'll come see us December 2nd and 3rd. And that is on December 2nd, Saturday. The candlelight tour is 4 to 9 o'clock. We're going to close those doors at 9 o'clock because everybody's sleepy and tired.
And you've had a good chance if you come early. You've got a chance to see everything.
On Sunday, 1 to 5, we will welcome you back in the daylight hours if that's what you choose.
And as we said, you can choose whichever one you want to go, and you can even do half and half. And we have that happen a lot of times. So don't get excited if you get there too late, as you feel like on Saturday night and just get to see 2 or 3 homes. Come back on Sunday, join us in the daylight hours. But we just want you to join us, okay?
Absolutely.
At First Lutheran Church, and also Rose Mortuary where you can park. Get your tickets in advance. VictorianHolidayHomeTour.com. Woo, a lot of mouthful there. And Lauren, thank you for being with us today. And have fun on the tour.